What's up, everybody? I'm Running Kid here, Yano the Warrior, as always. Back again for another comic review. How's everybody doing out there? Hope everybody's well on their end. Back again, and this week was really good, in my opinion. No, I did not go to see Man of Steel yet. I'll be seeing that next week. So, I'll give my thoughts on that soon. But speaking of Man of Steel, yes, it is in my full list. Today, you'll see what did I think of Superman Unchained. You probably ask yourself, yeah, you haven't reviewed a Superman title on your review in a while, Chris. What's going on? Nothing. It's just I'm not really liking where Scott Liddell is taking Superman, and you know, it's just really kind of sad too. But maybe Scott Snyder can turn that around, right? So, as always, give a shout out to the DarkAvengerINC family. As always, the links of the channel will be in the description as well, and of course to my bro Wolfist, one of my best friends, Blue Goblin, of course. As always, check out his channels, Blue Goblin 01, of course, and Blue Goblin X. That's where he does his main channel. Blue Goblin 1 is where he does his stash of my comic company, Midtown Comics, where I set up an account for him and like that. Alright, but we're here to review the books that I got for this week, and we're gonna kick it off, starting it independent, pretty much. So we're gonna kick it off with in Archie Comics, and we're still continuing the Worlds Collide, the Mega Man Sonic crossover. It's kind of funny because I just finished watching this year's E3, and Mega Man is going to be in Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U, so that's great to know. This is part 7, and this is Mega Man number 26. If you can get a look at that cover. I love that cover. That's remnants of what? Star Wars. Check that out. Looks really cool. Basically, the two heroes still are pretty much working towards trying to rescue Dr. Light. In the meantime, of course, Sonic and Mega Man and Tails and Rush are still dealing with some of the Sonic's allies that have been turned to robot masters. For example, Shadow the Hedgehog, Silver the Hedgehog, and people like that. And it's kind of funny because Sonic and Mega Man fight Shadow the Hedgehog, who is known as Shadow Man, along with the real Shadow Man from Mega Man. So they were fighting, and they were like, Shadow Man? And he's like, you take on Shadow Man. And then the Mega Man's like, I forgot to tell you, his name's Shadow Man too. And he's like, oh, well, you take that one. And I thought that was really funny. Proto Man is really like getting a little annoyed by the Chaotix. They're like, he's like, you guys are detectives. Like, we found you, didn't we? It's like, it's really funny. We get to see Rouge the Bat finally in this story. She's talking to Dr. Light. But overall, still just a really good story. Ian Flynn, I believe, still doing the writing. Yeah, Ian Flynn still doing the writing, and you just really enjoy. You're just really enjoying what's been going on in this series very much. I think it's really fun. Besides, I grew up with these two characters, and it's just reminiscing of good times. The games were young and not all about the special, big graphics, just the fun factor. So yeah, Mega Man 26, good stuff. Alright, so we move on to Dark Horse Comics, and we're giving you the Dwayne Straczynski and Eric Nugent in X2. Nice cover, right? Look at X. This one wasn't as bloody as the first issue, but it was there still. what, what was I saying? No, this was kind of bloody. This is definitely bloody. So basically, X is still he's still raging havoc on the people of, well, I shouldn't say the corporate society, the crooked corporate society of Arcadia. And the journalist here, Leah Ferguson, she comes into contact with X, and she's trying to figure X out and things like that. The main gist of this is what happens to the businessman, Mr. Berkshire. What X does to this guy is unbelievable. What he does to this guy's face, it was like, oh my god, like gritty, grotesque, straight, mature stuff where I'm talking about people. Not for the faint of heart. I'm not even going to show you what X does to this guy's face. I'm looking at it right now, and it is gruesome. All I'll tell you is X does some things in there. You're just like, whoa. What he did with this cleaver knife to this guy's face is unbelievable. But Leia gets deeper into the situation, and it may come dire for her in a sense. But other than that, I've been still enjoying this retooling of X from Dark Horse Comics. Very good stuff. Sorry about the delay. Okay, so we move on to Dynamite Comics. Yeah, Dynamite, of course, and of course we're going no farther to one of my favorite pulp heroes, The Shadow. Oops, sorry about the glare. This is issue number 14. This is written by Chris Robinson and Giovanni Tipano does the artwork. Alright, so the Shadow is still trying to solve the trail of this serial killer who is going around killing people. Shadow comes into contact with this person. It's a woman, and she calls herself what does she call herself again? I think she calls herself she just calls herself the Light. I'll show her right there. There she is right there. That's her. So you got the Shadow versus the Light, and this woman is just as good as the Shadows. A lot of the Shadow's, abilities are not working on her, and she's able to hurt the Shadow in a sense. Whoa. We do get a little in-depth in the beginning of her story and why she is this way and everything like that. But the main question really for the Shadow is, and even he's basically having his network of followers, helpers, that help him out. He's trying to figure out what is her motive. Why is she doing this? Because the Shadow, sometimes he can tell if you're innocent or not, and he's trying to figure that out. He's trying to figure out why this woman is killing people. What have these people done? And that's the real concept of this. And it's a race against time to figure out, for the Shadow to figure out what's going on. And Chris Robinson does a very good job of telling this like an immense thriller of a game of cat and mouse between the Shadow and this Light Warrior, as I like to call him. But other than that, very good. Still been just really fantastic. I've been loving what Dynamite has been doing with the Shadow. Excellent work. Alright, and we move on to ZENESCOPE, and that is none other than Robin Hood Wanted. This is the sequel to the previous Robin Hood miniseries under ZENESCOPE. I've always told a lot of people, get on board with ZENESCOPE. There's something from the Grimm fairy tales that you may like, and of course I'm a big Robin Hood fan, and I don't care if male, female or not. It's great. So uh, Pat Shane still does the writing, fantastic writing, and the artist in this is Larry Watts. And in the last issue, Robyn, she traveled to New Jersey to confront her father, her drunk father, about the situation that happened to her before she became the way she is now. Remember, I told you guys she was raped and literally had one of her eye removed from her, and some of them were cops and they did nothing about it. So she confronted her father about it. However, her father called the cops. Cops came, they arrested her, and we ended there. However, back in the green, as it's called, in the pretty much a lot has been going on since Robyn has left there and over, basically, and she's needed very much back in that world because, as we all know, darkness doesn't stay gone for long. It rises back up to try to take over again, and we see that in this. So many of the merry men, like Will Scarlet, for example, comes to Robyn's world, our world, to bring her back there. And that's where it gets really in depth and things like that. And kind of Robyn's like, I don't know if I want to go back, and but in a sense, it's not really like life in her world, is because she's wanted. She's wanted for murder, she's wanted for this, blah blah blah, and it's really straining her in a sense. But other than that, fantastic job. I've been loving what they've been doing over there at ZENESCOPE. Keep up the good work. This is an independent comic company that I tell people, I recommend you find something. You go to their website and you find something that you may like. There's guaranteed there's something that you may like over there. But Robin Hood, Wanted, issue number 2. Good stuff. Keep up the good work, Mr. Shan. Yeah. So we move on to DC. Let's move on to DC. And we'll kick it off with Batgirl, issue number 21. Miss Simone. My lady, I will always tip my hat to you. Such good writing for Babs. Now we have Fernando Passarin on the artwork. And we're still dealing with the ventriloquist. And my God, this is a whole new ventriloquist. And is she twisted and fucked up? You damn right she is. Pardon my language, yeah. But she is. I like the intro in this issue where pretty much Barbara gets a call from Dick Grayson, Nightwing, who is in Chicago right now. And he's talking to her. He's like, hey, we heard of what's going on. Talk to me. Don't keep us out of the loop. You're part of, things may be going on in your immediate family, but you're still a part of our family as well, the Bat family. You got to tell us, like, we want to help and things like that. And Barbara's really, she's like, I don't think you can help. She's keeping everything emotionally inside of her and not branching out for help. And that's kind of playing with her. She's really contemplating if she can still be Batgirl and things like that. And you're like, man, that's good writing right there. And but she knows that she has to, because out there's an actress that this ventriloquist here has kidnapped and is meaning to kill. And I'm telling you right now, this ventriloquist is crazy, to the point of Barbara is still trying to figure out how is she doing the things she does with her dummies and things like that. She can throw her voice really good, she can do all that, but there are a lot of things that she can't really calculate. There's still some things going in there, they go off to what's going on with Jim Gordon and Barbara's wife. Barbara's mom and things like that. And you know, there's some contemplating going on between them. But it's really the sell of the book is just the sheer inner turmoil and inner mental state of not just Barbara, but also the ventriloquist. I'm not going to spoil too much, but let me just tell you, she's a lot different. What I will tell you is she has powers. That's what I will spoil. She does have powers. That's how we know that what she can do with the dummies and things like that. But other than that, good stuff. I've been loving what they've been doing with Miss Simone has been doing with this title. Glad she's back on. Never leave the title, Miss Simone. Yeah. Good stuff. You're gonna flip, guys, for that ventriloquist. She's freaking creepy. I'm not even joking about that. Alright, so we move on to Batman 21, Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo. This is the start of the year 0 year of Batman. Basically, it's the 52 origin of Batman. You know, let me personally get something off my chest about this. All right, how many times do we need to keep redoing Batman's origin? It's like, how many times do we have to go back and feel like we've missed something in his career, his journey to be taking on the mantle of Batman? However, I'm willing to give this a shot to see what Mr. Snyder is going to deliver. And in the first issue, they kind of tease a little bit of a sense of Batman Begins and stuff, as a point of like him being Bruce has been recognized as being dead for years since he's gone off on his journey, things like that. He's really getting down to the Master of Disguise. You know, he's putting on masks. There's a certain group in here, which I'm not going to spoil, but we saw them earlier in the year. You know, Alfred really is still contemplating, you know, a lot of what Bruce is doing and why Bruce is doing this and things like that. Here's some things that I found interesting. Seeing Bruce has an uncle. Okay, he has an uncle. His mother's brother. And believe it or not, if I'm not mistaken, because I'm correct, his let me make sure I get it right so I don't foul up on it. But his mother's brother, their maiden name, and I was like, oh yeah, that's really smart. We kind of see that either their maiden name was, let me make sure. Okay. We find out that his brother, Bruce's mother's brother, Uncle Philip Kane. Really? Okay, yeah, that's good. He comes to see Bruce, and he starts to go on about certain things about Wayne Company and everything like that. And there's some other things I don't want to spoil, but it's more importantly that we see that Bruce, the uncle Bruce, the uncle that we never knew he had, or something like that. Because Bruce even says, you never really came around to see me a lot. You took me to one baseball game or the museum once, and that was about it. We also get to see a lot of, I guess, Easter eggs that we will see soon enough in his Bat Cave soon enough. So, but other than that, I did enjoy it. The ending is like kind of a cliffhanger, especially who his uncle is talking to. I'm not going to spoil who that is, but like I said, I'm on board. I'll see where this goes. Batman 21, 0 year. And of course, there's a backstory of his time in, I believe, Brazil. It's called Driving Lesson, how he learned how to drive so well. Okay. So we move on to, next up, Nightwing, number 21. Kyle Higgins, Brett Booth still does the artwork. I like Brett Booth's artwork, but I don't like it for Nightwing. Brett Booth works better for, I guess you could say he works better for the Titans or something like that, because Dick looks way too young. He looks way too young. But anyway, Dick is supposedly, he's still dealing with the prankster. And the prankster has able to hack his system, his Wi-Fi system in his, in his suit, and also been able to like mess with his cowl, his domino mask, so he's blind, he can't see. However, the cops come in, and in Chicago, in the DC universe in Chicago, vigilantism and is outlawed. You'll be arrested on sight or killed. You can't be a vigilante in Chicago. They don't tolerate that. But the reason why, of course, Dick is here is because Tony Zuko is still alive, and we all know Tony Zuko is the man that killed his parents. And it's now become, it's almost like a sense, the prankster and Nightwing need to work together to evade the police and things like that. Dick also uses the prankster to get, hack into some security to make sure that this is real. That Tony Zuko is really here. It's not just a fake, because you could just fake something online. But that's pretty much the basis of it. Nothing real major. But it was really funny to think how the prankster thought he out-pranked Dick, and Dick got the drop on him. I thought that was really funny. But other than that, I've still been enjoying Nightwing. Just wondering how long he's going to stay in Chicago before he gets himself killed, or worse. And I think I just went freaking out of order. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I was supposed to go G, and I went N. Stupid. But anyway, Green Lantern Corps number 21. First of all, love that cover. Love that cover. Beautiful cover right there. Check that out. So we got Robert Venditti, and Van Jensen is doing the artwork. The story is called Monsters Among Us. No, and Brandon Chang, as well, on the artwork. Yeah, right. Let me make sure. Yeah, Brandon Chang is the artist. This was just, I guess Van Jensen did the cover. The cover is nice. Pretty much, this really centers on a couple of lanterns, but a lot of it's dealing with John Stewart, of course, and of course his relationship with Yara, his girlfriend Yara, who is also Fatality, and she's trying to plead with John in a sense to, give up the life of the Corps. You've done enough for them. Now they need to do something for you and let you be, in a sense. Like, give him time to, just be a normal guy again. And, John's really kind of contemplating that while on a mission and everything like that. Meanwhile, on Oa, the Guardians is still pretty much trying to, turn things around for the Corps as well. Salak, he, in this, wants to resign from the Corps because he feels like he failed to realize that the old Guardians were betraying them and everything like that. And there's some friends of his that have been with him the longest are really blaming him, like, you should have known this, you traitor. What I also like to see is the fact that we saw Natu Sorak in this. Sorry Knock, excuse me. It was good to see her back in this, and now what she's gonna do, that the fact that, you know, her planet Korgar is destroyed, you know, and now she's pretty much dedicated her life to the core. I think the story kind of takes place in between Green Lantern 21 when the shit went down in there, but overall, once again, a good story. The mission in hand between John, there's some bad things, some bad elements coming, people, and it doesn't look so good for the core, and especially since they're at their weakest and they're still bringing in new recruits, and we see some more new recruits, and this time it's kind of sad to see some of the new recruits, because I'm gonna spoil one of them is a mother, and the ring just comes, takes her, and she's like, no, I don't want to go, and just flies away, and you know, her child is right there, and you know, it's just like, oh man, you know, sometimes it does suck to get recruited, you know, for the Lantern Corps. But I did enjoy it. Robyn Ventinelli did a good job. Alright, here it is. Here it is. Dun, 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 dun. Superman Unchained. First of all, love the cover. Jim Lee has always been one of my favorite artists. Always loved Jim Lee's artwork. Jim Lee is on this. And Dustin Nugent also does. 75 years of Superman. Congratulations. Scott Snyder does the writing, of course. And also I want to let you, we know Jim Lee's but here's always the thing. How long is he going to stay on this title? Because now, you know, when we see that Jim Lee's the artist, I'm always like this. He's either going to stay on for 3 to 4 to maybe 6 issues, and then they get a new artist. Because, you know, Jim Lee, he has a big, he's more than just an artist. He has a big job at DC. But so how did I like this? This was good. Yes, indeed. I very much enjoyed it. A lot of secrets and twists and turns in this title. I don't want to spoil too much, but the gist of it is for us, ship is going down. Who comes to save the day? Clark here comes to save the day. And we get some interesting details from there. Now you got to remember also, for all those who don't, Clark is not working for the Daily Planet anymore. He's kind of gone into a different, I think he's like a freelance journalist now, because he felt that pretty much all Lois and Perry wanted him to do was write about Superman, and he's like, there are more things than just Superman to write about. And you kind of see that still playing up in this book. However, we do get to see Luthor in this, and what Luthor plans for Metropolis. Kind of weird, but could he do it? Probably could. But there's some secrets going on with the government, and without spoiling too much, it does involve Lois's father. And when Superman investigates into it, the government tries to cover up a lot of things. And that's where I'm going to end it right there, because there's a big like dun 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 at the end that really kind of left you like, okay, now I'm want to see what comes next issue. But for the first issue of Superman Unchained, very impressive, very good. This is probably a good jump on point for anybody who's been really wanting to get into Superman. They're not really liking what Scott Liddell has been doing with Superman, or they're not really feeling too much of Action Comics. I'm not saying that there is, but if you want to get on, it's good to see that Superman. There's another title for Big Blue. I mean, if Batman can have like 8 titles, how come Superman can't have 3? Superman's only in 4 titles alone? 4 titles. Batman's in like 8 or 9. So why can't Superman? Why can't the Godfather of superheroes have another title? Good stuff. I enjoyed it very much, and I'm hoping everybody else enjoyed Superman Unchained. I haven't watched everybody else's other fellow reviews. I will watch them, of course. No problem. No worries. All right. Next up, World's Finest, Huntress and Power Girl. Yeah, look at that. See, you get see, pervs, you get a boob shot. There you go. Look at the boobies. Yeah, no, I'm just messing with you guys. No. Like I said, I don't care that Power Girl's back in her classic look. I really don't care. That's not why I like the character. So still Paul Levitt is doing the writing, but we get a new artist in this book, Robinson Rocha. I hope I'm saying it. Rocha. I'm probably butchering the hell out of it. I apologize. And they're still dealing with Huntress and Power Girl. Karen and Helena are still dealing with Desaad. Yeah, Desaad is in this, of course. And they're still trying to figure out. They're really trying to figure out what does he want with Helena's company. Why did he try to buy out her? I think he bought out her company, bought out Karen's company, as well as they're trying to figure out is this Desaad from Earth 2 or from this universe and things like that. That's pretty much what it is. There's a pretty decent fight in here between a giant dog and Power Girl, and she's starting to contemplate that she's getting weaker. They kind of tease at that, like she's getting weaker being on this planet, in this world now. But I don't think that's the case. I think it has something to do with a certain collar that was around this dog's neck, and I saw a certain green rock. Not sure, but if I recall, I don't think kryptonite works that. It works differently on Power Girl, but I guess they're changing a little bit. But the artwork was pretty decent, and Levitz is doing the best he can with the title. It's picking up, especially with Desaad. He's just really creepy and eerie and just devious, and you're just like, what the hell won't this guy do to break somebody? That's the way I look at it. But other than that, good stuff. Alright, so we end this with Marvel. Alright. Still with me, guys? Alright, end this with Marvel. Kick it off with Miss Margaret Liu. Always a pleasure to talk to her on Twitter. Very lovely woman. Astonishing X-Men 63. Look at that cover. Hail to the king, baby. Look at Bobby and all his ex-girlfriends and current girlfriend, I should say, too. Yeah, for all those who don't know, yeah, Bobby dated Mystique for a while. That's not false. That's real. But it's still trying to figure out what is going on with Iceman. Ever since extermination, something has been twisted in Bobby, and we kind of see that it's even more in this. Bobby has been really acting funny. He's talking to himself. You know, it's just a lot of twists and turns, and his fellow X-Men are trying to figure out, you know, Wolverine and all of them are trying to figure out what's going on with you. Have you seen Bobby? Where is he? You know, they're asking a lot of his ex-girlfriends, what's going on? Where are they? And we do get to see Kitty gets to talk to one of his exes. Her name was Opal, and she's like, she starts to tell things about like us as the readers are like, you know, Bobby. He uses his sarcasm and his to put a smile on somebody's face as a cover up of kind of some deep depressions that he's gone through from his father. You know, his father being like a big racist, and people, being a mutant and things like that. And I totally, when I'm reading this, I'm totally like, I forgot that, that stuff was true. I mean, Bobby, if you remember, when he first became a mutant, when his powers first met, he was exiled from his hometown like a mob, like classic mob, kill the monster, stuff like that. His father wanted nothing to do with him anymore, so that really had some psyche involved with him. But when he does show up, it's like, this is not the Bobby I remember. This is not the Iceman that I remember, and it's scary. It is very scary. Margaret Liu is, I don't know what you're doing to Bobby. Please don't make him a villain, because if this is what it's showing, then yes, Iceman could be one fucking villain if he wanted to be. The guy is an Omega level mutant, and they even say it in this. We don't even know really Bobby's extent of his powers, and that's a scary thought, to know what this guy can't and cannot do. But let me tell you, what he does in this is scary, especially very, very scary. Eerie stuff, but still very good writing from Margaret Liu. Astonishing X-Men number 62. Alright, we move on to Avengers Assemble. This is part 2 of the Enemy Within, the Captain Marvel event that's going on. Miss Kelly Sue DeConnick does the writing, and we have, what's the person's name? Matteo Fagigli. I'm butchering the names. I'm sorry. I apologize. And pretty much, it still focuses on, the brain lesion that is in Carol's head, and the fact that she can't fly, or the lesion is going to burst in her head and wipe out her mind. But still, this also ties into an old nemesis that has ties to the original Captain Marvel, Young Rogue, and he broke into Carol's apartment and stole a piece of the psychic magnetron that pretty much was used to bond Kree and Kree physiology to Carol, and which gives her powers, her sorcerer powers. And since this is part 2 of 5, we kind of get to see this in there. And first of all, I don't hate the artwork, but I didn't like it too much. I didn't like how a lot of the characters looked in here. I mean, you can see right here. Here's some of them. I mean, look at that Hulk. That's not the Hulk. Look at that Falcon. I'm like, ew. No disrespect, sir, but I wasn't really feeling your artwork. But in the beginning, the Avengers are dealing with a brood invasion. Carol knows that someone is behind this invasion. She knows, but she's not telling. Once again, there's that stubbornness of Carol, always wanting to prove herself. That's one of the traits I always hate about Carol. She really has nothing to prove, but still, She feels like if this is my problem, I have to deal with it myself. And young Rogue is trying to buy his way back into the Kree Empire by selling the technology he stole from Carol back to his people. And they're like, no. Especially when when he tells them where he's at. And they're like, Earth, no, we can't help you. Once again, they're playing up the fact that what's going on in Guardians of the Galaxy, that Earth is off limits. No extraterrestrial is to come to Earth, come there or do anything to Earth, and they playing that up pretty much in there. So that's cool as well. But he's like, all right, if you won't, then I'll do something about it. But that's pretty much the gist of this. And some of the Avengers even know like Carol's hiding something. And like I said, you know, she's being a little stubborn about it. And, you know, that's always been the trait about Carol Danvers. I never really liked her stubborn. I love her, but it's like, you know, Carol, you can be sometimes such a stubborn little thing. Alright, moving on. Guardians of the Galaxy. Look at that cover. Who's on the cover? Oh, Rocket. Rocket. Like, come get it. Like, yeah, come on. Mick Nevin's artwork. Sarah Pacelli is also share the arting. Good stuff. Bendis. God, you have really resurrected yourself with the writing now, guys. You really, sir, you have really, really done well for yourself. Maybe because now you're taking your time. There's not a lot of, you're not doing like 6, 8 titles, and a lot of it is bulked up onto one enough. Because then that's how I've always like, when you start seeing that, you can see he's getting writer's block. And this, he is still doing a fantastic job. So basically, the team has been captured. They're in custody now by Star-Lord's dad, the Spartax, you know, the king of Spartax, and pretty much the Spartanians, I hope I'm saying it right, are raiding the Guardian ship, taking their weapons, everything like that, and they see this little plant bucket, you know, like pottery plant, and we see a little stem growing out of it, and they're just like, should we take that? No, leave it. Little did they know that's going to come back to haunt them. And, you know, still Star-Lord's Quentin is, you know, his father's a dick. He really is. He thinks he's doing the right thing, and he ain't doing the right thing. And he kind of has it. He kind of chews out the Badoon, because that's who invaded planet Earth and tried to attack London and everything like that. But it was really fun to watch the Guardians escape from their captive. Tony is without his armor, and things like that. And who comes to their rescue? Which one of the members of the Guardians have we not seen in a while? Give you a clue. Give you a clue. I am. Yeah, comes back in a big way, and he rescues the crew, and it was really fun. You know, gotta pay homage to that certain character. Rocket, still funny as hell in this, and just loved his communication. I love the banter between Gamora and Drax, saying I love when she said to Star, look at Drax, he's having fun beating up people. I was like, look at that. And it ends pretty much with Star-Lord talking to his people, you know, because he is the prince of Spartax, and he's telling them, your king put us in jail, my father, because we did the right thing of protecting a planet, individuals that couldn't protect themselves. So what does that say about your king? And it was like, whoa. That was interesting. I thought it was very interesting. But good dialogue, good action, good story. Can't get enough of this volume of Guardians of the Galaxy. Good stuff. Very much. Alright. Savage Wolverine number 6. Yeah. It's the new Zeb Wells and Joe Mag. Dorina, or pretty much. This was a good setup point of, I guess, to see where the story arc is going. Was it good to see Elektra? Hell yeah, as always. Spider-Man is his now. I'm still trying to contemplate and figure out, is this Peter or Ock? The way I can tell if it's Ock is the costume, and it looks more like Peter's costume. He doesn't have like the slit, the toe slit on his boots like he usually does. The spider doesn't look that different, but pretty much this is a sense of pretty much focusing on Logan's rage issues, in a sense, and what he finds to be a kindred spirit in Elektra, and why. It also goes into detail of why Elektra has called upon him to help her with something. Not going to spoil what that is, but it's a good setup point, and I'm wondering where they're going to go with it. But Joe makes Wolverine look really creepy. It's been a long time since we've seen Wolverine with the sharp teeth, the sharp teeth that he's always had. Yeah. I still think, I thought I would have still continued to kept Frank Cho on the artwork, but I'm wondering where he's going to go from there. But yeah, Savage Wolverine number 6. All right. Probably one of the best titles, one of my favorite titles on the Marvel now, even though it's not really a reboot. Thor God of Thunder. This is issue 9. This is part 3 of God Bomb. We got all 3 Thors: Thor of the future, the old Thor, King Thor, present Thor, and the older Thor when he was, the younger Thor from the past. Aaron's and Ribbit's artwork is fantastic. Bottom line, all 3 Thors come after Gorr, and they drop the hammers on him big time. This was nothing really much. This is really seriously action packed, but we kind of get a sense of why Gorr needs to create this God bomb and wipe out all God pantheons, in a sense. And he says it to his wife or so. That was really interesting. Pretty much, he says, she asks him, she basically says, I know why you need to do this, things like that. He says, after, who comes after, I don't like to hear he's talking about Thor and things like that. She doesn't like to hear that talk. And then she said, after the bomb, I will finally be ready to what? And she says, ready, don't say die, please. And he says, no, to live. And it's like, that's interesting. But it was fantastic to see both Thors just going at it. And younger Thor, who's not really, he's not worthy enough to use Mjolnir yet. He's just watching in awe, like, wow, I'm gonna be able to do that and stuff like that, and he's just loving it. But it's just really good storytelling, just good action, good stuff all around. The story ends on kind of like a, with all that, go Thor, yeah, drop the thunder on him, bam, it kind of ends on a, oh, like, like, huh, like, especially of what we see at the end. But I think there's one more story, I'm not sure, one more part to this, but other than that, Thor God of Thunder, good stuff. Good stuff, people. Very good. Uncanny X-Force, number 6. Sam Humphrey, and we have 2 artists on here, Adrian Alfana and Dexter Soy. I like the parts with Dexter Soy the most. So we have Psylocke and Wolverine talking telepathically. I don't know how Wolverine is using Cerebro, but he is, and pretty much he's talking to Psylocke about what's going on and everything like that. And Psylocke has a lot to say about that. And we also get a good sense of what Spiral wants. She wants a new life. She's trying to start all over. She even goes into detail when she's talking to Spiral, like, look, Mojo fucked me up, okay, literally. Mojo fucked me up, screwed my life up, and pretty much I want a normal life. Please understand that. I'm tired of being the way I am, things like that. Cluster on the event is telling Psylocke about what's going on with Phantomax. And that's pretty much the whole gist of this book. Is pretty much, we kind of see in a sense a turning point for Spiral, and that she the mutant girl that she was with, she cared about her, and she wants to help bring her back. And she even tells, when Psylocke lets her go, she even says, you won't regret this. So once again, we get another villain turning, but in a sense, maybe this is for the better. That's just me. And still, of course, dealing with Bishop. He's still in catatonic right now. But yeah. Venom, number 36. Colin Bunn, and the artwork is done by Pepe Larraz. Still good storytelling, still good street level storytelling, that's the stuff that we want from a Venom story. Flash is still adjusting to his life in Philly, his job, his activities as Venom, everything like that. We kind of see a day in the life of Flash Thompson. The goth chick, the goth student that he knows, her name is Andy, Andy or something. He works. He's really like trying to get her to think, and she's like, 80, put your phone away. If you're not going to participate in PE, at least watch. And she's like, what's so socially knowledgeable about learning about dodgeball? And of course, there's a guy in here called what was his name? What was that kid's name? Oh, damn, I forget his name. Oh God, what was his name? I'm gonna try to find the name real quick. Darius Fowler, that really ticks off Flash because he's kind of like a bully, and Flash used to be a bully, so he's really like, when they're playing dodgeball, he's headhunting, he's knocking down the smarter kids and things like that, and Flash is just getting pissed off about it. And he's like, the one thing that ticks me off about this Darius Fowler guy is I used to be him. And so what happens is Flash picks up the dodgeball and he looks around real quick, and he throws it. But he also uses the symbiote to launch the ball at him at high speeds, and it cracks him. And he's like, nobody saw that. And he looks up, and the goth chick, Andy, saw it, and she gives him like a look like, I saw that. And she's like, she didn't see that. She didn't see that. And he keeps contemplating over when he's on patrol. But he's dealing with this crime lord known as Lord Ogre. And the Lord Ogre is like this corrupt, as he says, I'm a businessman. But he's a monster. And I love what Flash says about, monsters. He says he doesn't really say it, but you get it. He says basically this Lord Ogre is a monster, and there's only one way to deal with monsters like that. Nothing's ever simple. So we all know you gotta send a monster to take out another monster. This Lord Ogre is not drug, it's not simply just a drug dealer or a gun runner. He's a human trafficker, in a sense. So once again, good storytelling, loving what they're doing. It's just basic street level stuff, no hellfire, none of that. You'll enjoy it. And last but not least, let's go to Wolverine and the X-Men. This is 31 errands, and we got Nick Bradshaw back on the artist. So we're gonna get a lot of fat, chubby faces, as Bradshaw draws, and they're kind of like fake faces. And this is the first of the part 1 of 5 of the Hellfire saga, and that's basically what this is. It's just exploring the Hellfire school, School of Hellfire, and what Quentin and Idy are doing there and everything like that. And that's pretty much the basis of it. It was interesting, but it just felt like a retelling of the first issue of seeing what's going on with the Jean Grey School of Higher Learning. And that's pretty much the base of it. It wasn't bad. It's just that, that's pretty much it. But I will admit that what Wolverine said is that we failed the kids. He's going on about, and when this is all over, the school is going down. I'm like, but it's interesting. For example, you got Mystique, who is the head mistress, Sabretooth, the headmaster. We got a female Mojo, as Quentin said, Mordo. We got Xena, Starblood. Sauron is there. Dog, Logan. They got a Wendigo there. They say Silver Samurai is there. Husk Paige is flipping out. I swear to God, she's flipping out. And Toad is there, of course. And Toad still is a janitor. And that's messed up. But it's like, oh well. But other than that, that's pretty much all this was. Nothing more, nothing less. But yeah. That's all it was. It wasn't bad. But it was just exploring what is the Hellfire School Academy and some things like that. That's it. Alright, so other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my poll this week. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with the books. I'll see you guys next week, as always, God willing. And like I said, I haven't seen Superman Man of Steel yet. I will next week. And of course, check out, I will have one review going up soon on DarkAvengerINC Plus. See what I thought of the 5th issue of Kitana. This is an exclusive title over there. So see what I thought of Kitana. But other than that, this is Mama and Kid. You guys take care, and I'll see you guys next time.